That's what I watch.
It's not changed the way they were using him midway through the season. I mean, we're not even gonna break. We're not even gonna get to the exit. I'm sure you're gonna be doing a press tour world with people doing that. But I just want you to answer that simple question as it pertains to the football, and you keep referring to the one Packer season, the only Packer seasons you ever watched that closely, by the way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. That's why I had to say 18 games from last year. That's what I watched. So from then, it's like, okay, boom.
Answer the question.
Yes, they did.
Okay, right? That's it. That's all I want.
Hold on. No. We're not going to leave it there. 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 Because we're not going to leave it there because for the same reason why you said that is the same reason why to a lot of Packers fans last year, I was giving a lot of grace to Rashan Gary. I was saying Rashan Gary is not having a whole lot of opportunities to rush the passer. He's not going to get sacks when you don't have a whole lot of opportunities to rush the passer. I was saying that. You can go back to my tweets. I was definitely.
So why are you doing this now?
The change happened when Micah Parsons got hurt. So when Micah Parsons got hurt, you reverted back to your old role, right? Just like it was in the beginning of the season, you reverted back to your old role, right? You weren't just you weren't just bumping tight ends and having to rush now. You were right back into your pass rushing role. And what did you do? 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss for 9 straight weeks. You can't defend that.
This seems like man, we don't like that dude. Because last year when the trade first happened, the first 8 weeks, who was leading the Packers in sacks? Rashan Gary. He was going crazy for the first 8 weeks. It was. And Terrence Parsons was tweeting talking about how much he liked Rashan Gary, how it's going to be a problem and all this extra stuff. Like, no, do it. Micah gets hurt. Sorry, wish you speedy recovery, Micah, because they ain't got nothing to do with that. They start changing the way they're using Rashan Gary, making them chip tight ends and not get up the field and stay stagnant. Like, don't rush the passer. Stats go down and now everybody holds that against him because he's being a good team player. Something that's been highlighted by my brother Okoye that Micah Parsons is not. He's been a good team player and doing what the coaches asked him, not freelancing like I've heard other players that used to be Cowboys used to do, like Trayvon Diggs, another gentleman I know. Freelancing, doing your own thing. He did what the coaches asked him to do, and now they're trying to hold that against him. I'm not going though. So Terence Parsons tweeted that out, right?
What's up, folks? What's up? Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Put some ones in the chat because I'm doing things a little differently audio wise. I just want to make sure y'all can hear me okay. And TP has a link, so he should be able to jump in anytime. All right, y'all can hear me. All good. So I don't really need this in my ear unless he on here. But most of y'all who on here quick, you know what I mean, without any real invite or schedule, I already know y'all know what's going on Twitter. But obviously, what positions I come from, I cop no please. The positions I come from is always going to be from film only. And then from there, I'll defend anything that is or isn't on film, depending on what we're talking about. So y'all know why we're here. But let's backtrack just a little bit. I'll give him some time to jump on because I know he probably has to see the notification. I'll text him in a second. But he said you can hear me going, but you going out in and out though with the service. It might be freezing. If it's freezing, it's because I really don't know. I think it's either because of my setup or something like that. That's why I don't go live a lot, because it only freezes when I go live. It doesn't freeze any other time. And it's not the internet. I upgraded that, and I have an Ethernet cable in. So if it keeps going like that, you guys let me know. But yeah, my apologies for that. Anybody who's new here, that's what's going on. It's not anything I can do about it at this point, and can't really do anything about that. But anyway, to the point. What happened was, we've been talking about Rashan Gary all offseason. Some people like him, some people don't. That's not what I'm here to make you do. I'm not here to make anybody agree, or not. You know what I'm saying? But and I don't care if you do. Like, you don't gotta like me. You know how I am. I don't care if people don't like me. So that's not what we debating about. I think people think that it's a love-hate thing. I'm not debating about hatred for Parsons. I'm not debating about and saying that I thought he was like trash or ass. I don't. I never did. Also, this ain't because Parsons coming on here either. I said, and I still stand on it, if he's playing middle linebacker, Micah Parsons would be my favorite player in the league. Why? Because there would be nobody that can do all the things that he could be able to do if he were to play to his potential, which is to be the centerpiece for any defense and erase things sideline to sideline, blitz from the A gap, also be whatever you want to be on third downs in any package you want because you earn the right by stopping the run from the middle of the field. I've been saying that for years. Everybody who watched me know, you know what I mean? That's what it is. So at the end of the day, you can't push me in the category of a hater because I ain't never hated on him. But you can push me in the category of a person who addresses bullies. I never like bullies, right? And I look at it like if somebody's saying something about you and retaliate, that ain't my business, man, at all. Like if it was like, hey, him and Rashan Gary had their thing going and they both publicly just going at each other, like him and D-Law were going at each other, you don't see me making content about that other than the fact that I say, well, let's see who's right. But outside of that, it's not going to be like D-Law, fuck Parsons, and vice versa. But early on in the offseason, Terrence Parsons posted something. He posted a tweet that got like 200, 300,000 views. And it hit me. Someone sent it to me. And it was saying like, he only plays half the snaps and he don't do nothing, blah, blah, blah. And he's lazy and he be loafing. So the first thing we did, obviously, because I'm going off of what you say, just like we saw in the beginning, here go that cricket, man. I've been looking for this cricket all day. If you hear the cricket, let me know. Put some ones in the chat if you can hear this cricket. If not, he's just annoying me, so it ain't that bad. But either way, so in the beginning, what we did was we sat and we watched the film on whether or not he was loafing and whether or not his brother was loafing. And we both came up to whatever we came up to. Y'all can hear him? Y'all can hear him? That's crazy. Yeah, I got to go chase him down, man. He just came back. I've been trying to hunt him down for a second. I'm about to go kill him. But then he drawing too. It's going crazy. Hold on, let me go try to get this joint out of there. I'm gonna put some film on and I'm gonna go kill Jimmy the Cricket. Yeah, they like, yeah, we hear the cricket. This motherfucker. Hold on a second. I'm gonna pull some film in here. Then y'all can go ahead and rock out. Hold on. He like, all right. Boom. This is just a video. Let me pause this real quick. A video like displaying what I thought Parsons was prior to them starting to use him as an edge. Just so you know, it's like it wasn't no hate. This is still what I think about him now.
An interception magnet, and I wouldn't argue with you there. But in regards to just a full, well-rounded player that really, like a Madden player that doesn't have a position, you would have to say it's Micah Parsons. He literally lines up everywhere and is effective wherever you put him against whoever you line him up against. So I would take him 9 times out of 10, even if he were to line up in the slot as a nickel guy. And that was something that I would say guys like Jabril Cox can do, or even your J-Ron Curse. Shout out to J-Ron. I'm glad we got him back here because I call Mike a man boy because, he got the green dot taken away because he doesn't speak. He wasn't as vocal. And obviously he's a rookie, so he didn't understand the game at a pro level as of yet. But that is that's not a knock on him. That's actually what makes him even more impressive. Because if you tell me that a guy doesn't know what he's doing yet and he's still this effective, what people don't pay attention to, because I heard comparisons to LT, comparisons to this guy, that guy, there is nothing you can really compare Micah Parsons to, and not even the great Ray Lewis. And I mean that because there's nobody that I've seen who's been this effective everywhere this soon. You can say that LT was a better pass rusher. Wouldn't argue. You can say that Ray Lewis was a better middle linebacker, pure middle linebacker. Wouldn't argue. But Ray Lewis can't pass rush the way Micah Parsons does. And LT can't cover and play linebacker the way Micah Parsons does. So in my humble opinion, and what I see on film and what I've seen from a rookie at that, Micah Parsons is the most well-rounded player in the NFL today, period. There's no one that's asked to do as much. You might say some of these running backs, like maybe a Christian McCaffrey, the guys that are like wide receivers, or Debo Samuels, those utility guys offensively. You could make an argument for those guys offensively, but they're not asked to block. There's everything that there is to do on a football field defensively. He does it. Safety, corner, defensive end. He can line up in the A gap and tear you up from there. He beats guards. Whatever you need him to do, he can do it on the defensive side of the ball. And there's no one like that. So I think people have to really start calling it what it is, and you're watching the ascension of greatness in a new form, man. This is a new age of player. They were saying, hey, people are getting bigger, faster, stronger in the league. There's guys that are, able to run, like shout out to Njabo. I didn't like how they did him when he tore his Achilles in the combine. I thought that was corny. Although he's right up Jerry's alley now. I didn't think we would be able to get him at 24 before. Now I think we might be able to get him in a later round. I mean, maybe in the second round, and that's something that Jerry likes to do. He likes to go after guys like the Chris Cantys and the Jalen Smiths. Whether you like them or not, doesn't matter. Those are the type of guys he goes after. Guys that, even Leo Collins, who just left here, guys that have a blemish for whatever reason, even Dez, when he came here, he likes those types of guys because he feels like that gives him leverage in negotiation. And it gives him that sort of attaboy effect where he was the Oliver Twist father or father figure mentor to these guys, where he's able to come in and kind of get some of those team friendly deals due to that. That's what he's looking for. How effective it is during free agency, well, we kind of see what happened with Randy Gregory, but that's still his strategy, though, nonetheless. So, like I said, at the end of the day, Njabo might be here. This isn't his video, though. But back to Micah Parsons, man, what he's able to do. This year, with Dan Quinn having an understanding for who he is as a player and a full off season to kind of work magic, you guys are going to see something great. And if it wasn't for a number 11 and certain guys on this defensive side of the ball, last year would have been pretty difficult to watch. I have to say that, due to the fact that, offensively, yeah, we did some things, but I feel like we sputtered, and the defense held us in there for a good majority of the season, especially the second half of the season, where Dak struggled and this offense just didn't do as well as we thought they could or would. So again, got to give credit where credit's due. This isn't really a breakdown video. I don't really care to do one. I just like the fact that, I can put some highlights in there in the backdrop. But look how he just destroys two players. He destroyed the center and the guard like it was nothing, and still gets to the ball carrier. There's just no deceleration whatsoever when he gets in there in very tight spaces. He can shift in and out. Meaning he can use his lateral movement like he does right here. Once you plant your foot as one of those bigger guys, you're dead. You turn those hips, you're dead. He's waiting for whatever reaction you have, and he plays defensive end like a running back because he's looking to juke you right off the bat, and he has the patience to do it. He's not been moving around. Shout out to LVE, getting burned, ripples that you really don't see linebackers accustomed to doing. And like I said, I don't think you should leave him at defensive end. I think you should move him around the way we've been moving around. Shout out to LVE, getting burned again, baby. We signed LVE back to be a logjam here or a placeholder, so that we're not entering the draft having to draft a linebacker, which I still would say you do if you have LVE in there, because I don't generally. I think he played better in the second half of the season. I will say that once we got Gallimore back, LVE's game definitely changed when we were able to keep him clean. And there's a lot of linebackers like that. So I give LVE a lot of shit, but guys like Fred Warner, your coverage body, you know what I'm saying? So I can't kill LVE for that. I had a lot higher hopes for LVE than what he gave us, other than that first year. So again, we have him back, so that will allow us to go into the draft and not have to go after linebacker. But if you put a linebacker next to Micah Parsons. Look at how much attention he takes off LV there, even. But if you put a linebacker next to Micah Parsons who can, halfway do what he does, it's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare. We were playing with three safeties at linebacker outside.
I said I killed him a minute ago, but I let y'all finish watching the video because I was actually rewatching it too. I haven't rewatched that whole thing in a little minute. But my point in putting that up is just to show like the thing I think about him now is the same thing I thought about him then. I said then when he was a rookie, I don't think you should leave him at defensive end because he's a pass rush specialist at defensive end. But when you move him around, he's a chess piece. So my thoughts on him never changed. I never looked at him as the best defensive end in the game. I looked at him as the best chess piece in the game because of all the things you can do on the field with him. And I still think that. But if you're just talking in a vacuum of defensive end, I don't think he's the best in the game. And that's not hate when I say that. I've been saying that since he was a college player. I said that. So it ain't hate. I'm not hating. I never was coming at him when I said that. And I'm not copping a plea when I say that either. But let's start there. Now TP's in the background, and I'll bring him in when he's ready. But put your camera on when you're ready if you can hear me. If not, I'll wait a second. But at the end of the day, none of this came about because I feel like picking on Micah Parsons. I'm not a bully. People take me as such because TP almost ready. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce him, but people take me as such because I say things and I'm not scared to speak to anybody about whatever, as long as I'm telling the truth and I'm not hating. I'm gonna say whatever to whoever. I'm not a starstruck person, but I'm gonna respect you the same way, right? And I'm a person that holds up a mirror, especially when it comes to the players. And I want to say something because a lot of people play around and they go back and forth. I don't. If I come at a player, it's because of what he puts on film. It's not personal, right? But a lot of people jump on players, right? They'll say things like, and rest in peace to him, but they'll say things like, we got to be more, open and considerate when you hear things about like the aftermath of players like Marion Barber or now Chris Johnson. I hope that he, has a recovery from his ALS, or guys like Marshawn Nealon who are no longer here, Junior Seau, so on. We talk like we got all this sympathy for those types of people, right? But then when it's time, like we'll jump on a bandwagon and talk trash about a player without no provocation. When I see that, if it's something that is true, I mind my business. If it's something that's off the field, I mind my business. But if it ain't true and I see it, I say it. That's how I started this in the first place with the Des Bryant Not Guilty video. So that's just the way I am. I've always been somebody who says what I think the truth is rather than what the narrative may say it is. And if I am going along with the narrative, it's because I feel like the narrative might just be true. But if I go against it, if I'm counterculture or I seem like a contrarian, it's because I don't agree with some of the things that are being said. And then with this situation, no one spoke out against Micah Parsons. No one's mad that Micah Parsons is a Packer. No one thinks that, we're bitter. I'm not, you know what I mean? No one dislikes Micah Parsons. I dislike the things that he does character-wise. I do. I dislike some of the things that I'm seeing now character-wise from his brother. Otherwise, we have no issues. But the things that I see, I say something about. So for me doing that, you can call me a hater only because I'm the only one speaking up saying anything. A lot of people are telling me what to say, what I shouldn't say, whatever, because of relationships, right? But I'm going to say whether it's the CEO or the janitor, I'm going to speak the same way. I'm not coming at nobody with disrespect. I'm just saying what is, you know what I mean? But without further ado, I'm going to bring him on and let him introduce himself. Terence Parsons, everybody.
Yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me make sure I can hear you. Testing.
Yo.
Yep, I can hear you now. All right. Now, listen, before we even start, I will say this. I'm not, I know a lot of people come at you on a regular, right? I'm not coming at you on a vicious type tip because I'm not looking at you in a vicious way. So I know we exchanging words and we exchange words even on Twitter in text, but then and even in the spaces, wasn't nothing vicious coming from me. That's not me copping a plea. That's just me letting you know. I know how to debate and disagree with somebody without it becoming personal. That ain't this for me, at all. I know people put it that way. You might see people sharing what I'm saying to take it wherever they want to take it. That's
for me, the only thing personal.
For
me, the only thing personal was when we was talking about him getting sued. That was the only thing personal for me. Other than that, football talk is football talk.
Understood. Well, that was news to me. So when I look into it and I see it, I'm gonna say it because it happened. It didn't happen to him. It happened to the team, though. So if I'm talking about or referencing him as a teammate or him as a leader, and that's part of one of the teams that he was a member of, I'm going to mention that. It's valid. It's not that I didn't come out and say the details or try to come out and try to play him or nothing like that. It was just that's a blip in the past of his team history. So I said it because now there's a trend of every team that he's been on for the last 3 teams. We had issues with teammates one way or other. Now, if he didn't get sued, I can retract that and say he didn't get sued. But I do know the team did for sure. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was saying. So if you took that personal, and that's why you jumped off the wagon with that, I understand that. Yes, your brother, you can take that personal, but that ain't what it was. You know what I mean? But beyond that, though, like in the intro of this video, I played, what was said when you was on AOC. I don't really, me and AOC see things differently, but I think some of the questions he was asking you was actually valid. I'm not a hater. And he was valid with some of the stuff he was saying. So I'm gonna call a spade, whether we get along and see eye to eye or not. And I look at it the same way. The things that you said was, and I looked at it to see if that was valid, right? Because I'm not looking to disagree. I'm looking to see where you're coming from. And when I see where you're coming from and I see it ain't nothing there, that's when I call bullshit. It don't be, hey, you just a bullshitter because I feel like saying that. I don't look at it like that. I just look at it like, yo, if you standing on something, it should be something behind the curtain when we go look. Otherwise, why are we doing it? You know what I mean? That's just really what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. So, and there's a reason, because I just now started talking about how players, mindsets and so on. But if it was your brother, if somebody was saying anything that I just wasn't in line with who he is as a player, I've done this when he was on the team and I've done it when he left. I never came off and said, yo, because he's not a Cowboy, fuck Micah Parsons. I've never been of that ilk. I did say that, now that he's going with all of the additions that we made, I feel happy for it. But that's because we got a lot of players for one player. Why would I not feel good about that? That's smart. You know what I mean? No different than the Packers feel like they got their missing piece. Nobody's mad at that. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that to say that's where we started. That's where we came from. But everything that's here, this ain't no shock jock tricks or me trying to like bait you and play. I know people play like that. That's not my MO. I really come and I talk like a man to a man. So all the disrespectful shit, you ain't gonna hear it from me unless you start first. Other than that, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so
that's how I am. I'm a mirror. I give you what you give. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, I'm just letting you know that's where I'm coming from before we get into anything. You know what I mean? But like you said, and I just want to make sure this is where you at with it. You feel, and I don't want to give you words, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. You feel that not Micah Parsons, but Micah Parsons' absence should have given an uptick to Rashan Gary, because Rashan Gary should have, or did, in your opinion, go back to his old role after Micah Parsons got hurt, right?
Yes and no. Like I said, it don't even have to do with pass rushing for me. It's like for 9 weeks there wasn't a sack or a TFL. It's not like, okay, I'm not just basing it off of pass rushing the passer, because you know what I mean. I know that's not what he specializes in. So
right.
You know what I mean. It's for me, it was a sack or a TFL. 9 weeks, including the playoffs.
And I can hear you when this is why I exist, though, right? I can hear you when you speak on a stat, because the stat is a fact, but it's not the full fact. And I give people this when they talk religion. I can talk to people from a bunch of different religions and a bunch of different backgrounds, because I realize everybody got a piece of the truth. And they'll stand on it, but they don't realize it's not the whole truth. Like if we was all blindfolded touching a car, you touching the bumper and describing what you're touching versus me touching the wheel, we're gonna describe different things, but we both telling the truth. Feel what I'm saying? We're coming at it from different angles. So when you say it from that perspective, that's a fact. There were no tackles for loss, no sacks, right? but that doesn't speak to impact, nor does it speak to the context of why. I asked why, right? At the end of the day, you're of the opinion that he fell off a cliff and just forgot how to pass rush once your brother left.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying like to not have a sacker at TFL is kind of hard to defend.
And coming in, trust me, I said this to his team as well. Coming in the door in the offseason, I would agree with you because I said, okay, let me look at what happened to make that happen. Me and you talked about this before. We didn't go as in depth because I think you were busy the second time we were supposed to link up, but we went at least the first half of the season, and you said you wanted to see certain games. But this time I got the games that you said, like after your brother was injured, I got all those games, right? But and the purpose and what I'm showing is I've already done this. So when you arguing from a perspective of what you saw broadcast or what you saw when you looked at it versus what I know I've already seen, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down just for the fact that I know I'm standing on film. I'm not standing on my feelings or a broadcast view or the stats, because the stats are correct. But when you look in deep, you see he's taken off the field for guys that combined for 3 sacks, Van Ness and Ekbari, right? Every time they're in a pack, they came out with a nickel package that they didn't even really run in the first half of the season. They started running this nickel package where he's not even on the field, whether Micah Parsons is there or not. Even in the Bears game that you killed him for and said he the reason that Caleb Williams is on the cover of Madden, that's your quote. If you watch the Bears game, we're going to do it together, and I want to see what you think when you look at them being up 21-9 and who's on the field when they up 21-9 and who's on the field when they start scoring both touchdowns to come back, all 3 touchdowns to come back and win the game. And if you see Gary on the field, I'm going to agree with you, and we could turn the live off right there. But I guarantee you, every big play, most of the big plays, he not on the field when Caleb Williams in the pocket just chilling. That's Van Ness and then Ekbari. But this is how I am as a person. I don't got nothing against Van Ness. I don't got nothing against Ekbari. So when I look at that, I don't make a highlight video saying Van Ness and Ekbari can't rush the pass. I'm not hating on them, but that's still the fact. So when I'm arguing about it, I'm arguing for what I know. I just sat here hours and watched over and over again, looking for the answers to the things that y'all present. You feel what I'm saying?
At that time, no, it's just like at that time, you know what I mean? When I knew when he was playing half the snaps in the middle of the season, what the situation was that they're planning to move on from him. So you know what I mean?
But those 2 different conversations. If they planned on for whatever reason to move on from him, obviously, you know, in my opinion, you would still want the price to go up if you plan on moving on from a guy. You know what I mean? If you say, hey, he can be, I can trade him. They got a 4th round pick for him, but if he runs his numbers up, they get even more. So I don't think the narrative of we're moving away from him, so let's just shelf him on the bench makes sense. Because even if you want to move away from a guy, you want to win first.
So that's why he was playing, but he just was.
He wasn't. He
reps.
The first half of the season, I'm sure all of 3rd downs. The first half of the season on 3rd downs, he was in, and you could see he was making an impact. Second half of the season on 3rd downs, 1st and 2nd, it was just random. They had him sprinkled in there whenever they want to put him in there. And you would think once Parsons gets hurt, you would definitely want him in there. And then they don't speak on the fact that he missed week 18. He didn't even play that game at all. He ain't played none of that game. So it's like they benched him one game before the wild card. Okay, cool. Then
no starters played that game. I don't think any starters played.
No, it wasn't like it wasn't a personal bench. It wasn't like punishment or nothing. They was just resting your guys. I got that because y'all knew y'all made the playoffs. So I mean, he still wasn't there. So part of his lack of stats was he did sit out a game too. But after your brother got injured, so he only played like 2 or 3 games after your brother got injured. And in those games, they never stopped having him line up in no man's land. And then in the playoff, you would think we want to win. Let's put the guy in here, right? They had him off the field most of the game, and most of the game when they was getting their ass kicked. Like whenever he's off the field versus Chicago, it's chunk yardage. And I don't need to exaggerate because the film is about to show us. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was eye-opening to me. So when you come in and you say the things you say, I'm coming back at you because I've already been where you talking. I've been there already. So when you said that yesterday, I'm like, oh, I know that's not what you mean. So that's why I keep questioning it and coming at you because I'm like, yo, if you said, yo,
that's why I'm saying, why do you think that they were doing that?
That don't make what, but see, I don't think you see where the logic goes when we say that, right? If you say, why do you think they were doing that when they're up 21-9 when they weren't doing it? To do it doesn't make sense because you're up when he on the field. You're effective when he on the field. You were chasing Caleb Williams all over the place when he's on the field. When you take him off the field, Caleb Williams in the pocket, just playing with y'all. For real. So that's exactly what's going to happen. And you can confirm it. So it don't make sense what you're saying. If you say, well, why do you think that is? It's because he can't pass rush. We're going to take him off the field and get no pass rush.
I told you what the word around Green Bay was.
I'm not talking. See, now that's why I was saying I can only
speak on what I hear.
Are we talking hearsay? Because when hearsay, we'll be here all night.
Speak on that.
You're not talking hearsay. We talk about what we both about to look at, and then try to make sense of it.
When I was looking at it, and I'm wondering, and you know what I mean, you got these content creators putting out his snap counts over the last 4 to 5 years, and they never really changed. And then you know what I mean, you hear, hey, this guy don't be in shape. So you hear that, and then you see the numbers. Here's
the way I definitely, the reason I don't agree. There's a reason for it. I mean, the reason I say, and you tell me if this makes sense, right? There is no, it's hard because I know your brother's dealing with that right now. It's hard to come back from an ACL tear, right? It's a lot of work, right? Yeah. You can't be a lazy person and get back.
But not lazy and not like.
Hold, I hear
like
you,
can play
listen,
X amount of snaps is not the same thing.
A guy who is not in shape, right? There's no way that he comes back on time, played the first game of the season after his ACL tear, right? No way he got back on time and then did what I think I've only seen Adrian Peterson do it, but very, very few people or players come back from their ACL tear and have their best year during their ACL, like that ACL year. Very few people do that. He came back and had his best or one of his best years after ACL tear. That's extremely hard to do. And then he did that on only 550 snaps. He had 9 sacks on 550 snaps. Everyone else that's mentioned as edge rushers, your brother included, had almost double. Your brother had 870 or 864 that year for 14 or 13 and a half sacks that year in 2023. And Max Crosby had 14 sacks, but he had like 935 snaps. So when people bring up the snap count, they only bringing it up because they saying, okay, you saying he not on the field because he lazy. It was his first year back from ACL.
Not lazy.
He's never played full snaps.
The amount of snaps that.
But he's a different player than your brother. He's not 250. He's 6'5", shrunk down from 3. He was like 320 in high school and in college, bro. He shrunk down to get to 275. So he's a bigger person. Even though you say he run a 4.5, he's not a twitchy. He could never be a middle linebacker. I'm twitchy and I'm a guy to run around all day. He's a big body running around the way he runs around. You know what I'm saying? So he's never going to be a chase down backside type of end. That's not his role.
Used him like that.
Yeah, but you say that's why they use him like that. It only makes sense to use him that way if you say he's not effective versus the pass. But if he's leading the team and league in sacks, it don't make sense to say we're going to put him out here and use him and tell him not to rush when he's already leading while you're telling him to do that. He's still beating everybody else. In the Dallas game, they didn't do it, but they were still sliding protection to him in the Dallas game. I got that game on third down. They slide the protection to him just like they slide to your brother. They slide to both. He wasn't just standing over there one-on-one like you tried to say it was. It wasn't that.
I won't go through it.
All right, well, we gonna bring the film up now. Like I said, I don't lie. I'm not gonna lie on you, but I ain't gonna lie for you either. That's really the way I am. And I look to be contradicted. I
drop back pass, so it's like hard to really
say it again.
It's not too many. It wasn't too many teams that last year that dropped back and passed on them. So
that was my point. So I said, yo, I know you know that because your brother couldn't even get off the way he's supposed to because nobody was taking 7-step drops when they saw those guys on the field. So if that's the case, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If your brother is not in the beginning of the season, he was behind, he was trailing Gary in sacks because of the same reason you're saying, right? So what happened though after week 8 was they would take Gary off the field on third downs. They was doing it in the beginning of the season too, but that was more so. I think they was trying to keep a rusher on the field at one time, like when he needed to spell, and your brother was like kind of playing half the time, so they was kind of mixing with both of them. so that they could have a rusher out there at all times. I thought that anyway until I started seeing it after week 8. And then I'm like, okay, after week 8, it was blatant. Like any pass, even if it's first down and it's an obvious pass, he on the sideline. He ain't take himself out.
They was preparing to move on from him. I'm telling you.
But you get what I'm saying. You're saying the same thing. What happened after week 8 when the guy's leading the league in sacks that makes you say you want to move on from him? And then suddenly he just forget how to sack anybody? He just forgot? You think that's what happened? Or everybody who blocked him, it just was great and he just couldn't get past? That's not what happened. Or he was, like you say, he's lazy and he wasn't even trying, which is
that's not
the
what
film.
I said.
Or what do you say?
I said what I heard. That's what I heard from a couple sources.
You heard what?
That's why he never had high snap counts.
He never had high snap counts.
He never had high snap counts because they said he wasn't able to do that.
If he plays half the snaps, we're only judging him off of the snaps that he's out there, though, right?
He should be 100%, right?
When he's out there, well, that is 100% for him. He's a bigger person. He's not, and he does more, meaning he's taking on double teams versus the run too, run and pass. So, and he's effective. Whenever he's on the field, he has his impact. If he plays 30 snaps, he affecting 8 to 10 snaps almost every time he's in there for only 30 snaps a game.
I'm telling you what it really was, bro. Is everybody seeing Micah's effort?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody seeing Micah's effort when the quarterback leaves the pocket. And then you got Gary, who it's not even like you can just tell that he just stops trying. And you know what I mean? I can't knock people for not liking that, bro. I can't knock people for not liking that. So of course people are going to build narratives off of that.
I mean, the narratives that people build though is not coming from. I haven't heard a lot of narratives from the Packer world or from the people you're talking. The main staple from the narrative is you. So the reason it's addressed to you is because at the end of the, even if that's true, let's just say you 100. You're 100% right? Which you're not. But let's just say you were, right? You tried to tell me earlier.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it. I know you haven't seen it because we're gonna watch it together. So if you see it, point it out for me, okay?
I definitely see it.
Okay, so we ain't gonna be missing no. I got all third downs for the rest of the season, all passing situations, obvious pass for the rest of the season after your brother got injured, and then I got all of the playoff games from first, second down, and third down as well. So there's nothing we're gonna miss here. Now, if I didn't, for the sake of time, I didn't want to get first and second down for the rest of the season because we'd be here all night.
No, we ain't got to go through the rest of the season because I'm on a time constraint too. Let's do the Dallas game and the playoff game.
Dallas game and the playoff game.
Yeah, let's go through.
Okay, so but your point, the reason the Dallas game is irrelevant is because your point was you said after your brother got injured, so that's what I got the film for.
No, I said that's when I stopped defending him. Like when I said I stopped defending him.
That's when he stopped getting sacks.
Yeah, hard to defend it. It's hard to defend.
That's what we're looking at. I don't want to look at nothing else because then you're going to still reference what happened after your brother got injured, and nobody's watching that. They're watching when he was getting sacks. What does that serve us? He was getting sacks up until week 8, and you started saying like, "Hey, they did change the defense." I know they changed the defense.
He didn't get no sack week 5.
We talking about up to week 8. He was still, even with the missing week 5 sack, right? He didn't get one in week 5. Okay, but he still was leading the league in sacks by week 8. Regardless of what happened week 5, and he was ahead. He
was among the leaders. He wasn't leading. He was one of the leaders.
Was he ahead of your brother in sacks?
I'm pretty sure it was. Brian Burns led the league in sacks for the first 12 weeks.
Was he ahead of your brother in sacks though?
He was. He was leading the team.
Okay, so. Suddenly, after week 8, your brother spent off 6 sacks in 3 weeks, and he went off a cliff. So I speak on it. That makes sense. So we can look at what happened there and see if you said he was no longer dealing with tight end duty. Just in case you don't remember what you said, I can put it in here. But you said he was no longer dealing with tight end duty, and he was back to his old role after Micah Parsons got hurt. That's what I pulled up film for. I'm gonna go pull some film right here. You see.
I know he was 1-on-1 in that Chicago game. I seen it myself, my own 2 eyes, multiple times.
All right, well here we go. I'm gonna have to keep jumping in and out of here, and the reason being is because when we're in here, the NFL like to snap on us, so I'm going to jump in and out of here. But right before the play, you can see. On this play in particular, this is and I try to get the downs in so you can see at the top of the screen in the middle. It's 3rd and 1, right? Now you do say Gary's at least a pass rush. I mean a run stopper,
Definitely
right?
should be where 55's at.
Yeah, he ain't out there. Boom.
Micah punched the ball out. I remember
Great
that.
play by Micah. But why on third down would he not be there? Now here it's 3rd and 5. He's there. Him and Mike on the same side of the field.
That's what
Ball.
people have a problem with right there too, though. They say he don't got no moves. He only bull rush.
Bro, that was a swing pass, and he don't only bull rush. I got plenty of moves.
I know.
That's why I argue that. Like, there's no way you now. Hold on. We here again, right? So your brother here though. This is the game that your brother got hurt in. But right now we at 3rd and 5. Where's he lined up?
Outside of Micah, outside tight end.
Outside the tight end, right? Boom. What's his job at the snap? Is he trying to pass rush? No. He's widening out, and now he's looking for the running back right there. Boom, widening out. There's nothing like that's not asking him to pass rush. Now, obviously, you said your brother's still there, so right now his role was to do that. But even still, why would you take your second best pass rusher on the team and tell him to reroute tight ends when you're trying to get pressures on quarterbacks? That doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, you could say that's on the defensive coordinator. You could say that, but you can't say that Gary is trying to pass rush here, and the reason you don't like it is because he's doing nothing when he's not asked to. Right now, where he's lined up, over the tight end again. He might get off the ball this time. Boom. Double team that time. And they slid protection his way. And, they double teamed. I don't think your brother was even out there on that play.
No, he was out there.
Yeah, they're going to. So he got a tight end his side. And they kind of slid.
They dropped Micah. They dropped
split.
Micah and
they split. Yeah, Micah ran out in coverage. Where's he lined up now? Again, in no man's land.
That's a rush right there.
That wasn't a bad rush.
That's a rush, bro.
I said that wasn't a bad rush.
Oh yeah, no. I'm saying
that wasn't a bad rush.
He
ain't have time to get nowhere. Boom.
You see what I mean? That's what I'm talking about right there. Right there is what I'm talking about. Point boy A. Go back. Go back. That's what I'm talking about. Point A. Point A right there. Right here. You have QB contained. That's point A right there.
He got QB contained.
No, I'm saying
he chasing the quarterback.
He's chasing the quarterback.
He's chasing the quarterback here. Boom. Gets rid of this guy. Flushes him out the pocket.
Come on.
Yeah.
What is that?
He's not Micah Parsons, brother.
That's not, bro. He should never pass you and beat you to the quarterback like that.
Why wouldn't he? He's a 4-3.
Bro, no. Look what Gary does. Come on. He literally he starts walloping. That's not a sprint.
On the end of that play, you thought he was going to catch the quarterback?
No, it's not about catching the quarterback. It's about your effort.
Okay, I'm going to give you that play. I'll give you the play. He out there. Damn. No, it's not. Boom. Because you try to turn that into a bad play. That was a pressure, and you turn it into a bad play. How can you pressure be a bad play? He chased him out the pocket. If that was your brother, you would have said that was a pressure. And you see him as like, oh, no. I've seen your brother do that on running plays where the ball get away from him and he jogged towards it.
You're getting me wrong right here. You're getting me wrong right here, bro. You're getting me wrong right here. I'm not mad at anything that happened on that play until he disengages with the block, with the quarterback within arm's reach, and Micah 5 steps away, and Micah beats you to the quarterback and you literally look like you're not even sprinting anymore.
I'm saying that we said this before. I said, are there any plays when we talked about that and you try to say he was a loafer because you found 2 plays in the season? I said, does your brother ever do that? You said no, and then we found that he does that on run plays, right? We don't got to go back to that because we did that for over an hour.
That's 2 different things. Now we're talking.
No. He's a play. Running to the ball is running to the ball. So you're saying that your brother runs more aggressive to the ball on pass plays, and Gary runs more aggressive to the ball on run plays? What you saying? Because he allowed to not run to the play when it's a run play.
That's 2 different things.
But is your brother supposed to run to the ball the same, right? Every time he do this every time, or he did that on that play? That's what I'm trying to say.
Plays like that, he's doing that every time. Run play where if it's a stretch right and he's on the left, if he can get there, he's going to try to get there.
Bruh. Here we go. So, again, this is 3rd and 2. Micah Parsons, I believe, is hurt. There is no Rashan Gary on the field. They stand in the pocket.
He literally just got hurt.
Throw the ball easy. Boom. Here we go. Gary back on the field, 3rd and 3. Slid away from him. He didn't have the rush. Boom. Nothing happens. No rush though. Let me see when he rushes. This is 3rd and 7. No rush. He runs and tackles the ball for 4 yards. Great play. Not a problem there. This is 3rd and 4. No Gary.
No Gary. Devon, that's what I'm saying. Look how he's moving though. You don't see that from Gary.
Bro, that's a lie. Now we're into Chicago because you're gonna see it on film. I don't gotta bring it up.
No, bro.
This is next game. All right. This is the Chicago game. This is 3rd and 4. Boom. There's no Gary on the field. And this is the beginning of the game. No Gary. Or 3rd and 7. No, 3rd and 4, yeah. Boom. This is 3rd down. Let's see where Gary is. Is he on the field? I don't think so. But this is 3rd down.
Oh yeah, he on the field. Right. He over there. He over right.
He over the right tackle. Okay, he had 4 eye right now, look like. Yep. And he closed down. There wasn't nothing really for him to do there, but okay. Did his job. This is 3rd and 8. Gary's on the field to your left outside Van Ness. No play. Very next play, look where he lined up to the left. He outside the running back all the way out where? No man's land.
Both is though. Both of the edges is.
It don't matter, but I'm saying to you, they never line your brother up out there for some reason though.
Because usually
your brother is gone
right now. He gonna be where Van Ness is at right now. That's
okay, but your brother is gone though, right? Look what Gary's doing on this play. You talking about him not getting a sack? Is he asked to try? Is he asked to try to get a sack? Yes or no?
No.
No,
but they're both doing the same thing. They're both doing the same thing.
Yeah, but that's still, how did that count against Gary? And then look, he's still the one that get the pressure on this play. So just like you just showed the play where he wasn't hustling, right? Or you didn't think he was hustling. How much hustle do it take to do what he just did? Where's that? Trying to get back to it. My apologies, folks.
Oh, you had it. You was there.
I think it's his next play.
Yeah.
No, it was a running back out there.
No. What's the next one? It's the one after this.
All right. Yeah, it's this play. So how much hustle this take? He not even asked. He's setting this up so those guys in the middle can twist stunt and they can get the pressure. He's not even supposed to get a pressure here. It's supposed to be Van Ness. Van Ness falls and he gets the pressure here and chases him all the way across the field. No play. You don't talk about those types of plays though, right? All right, he out there. Nobody is in front of him. He weak side finally. Gets to get off the ball. Boom. That's just a crush rush. Wasn't nothing special. Still wasn't no time. Got the ball quick, but crush rush. Wasn't a mush rush. Wasn't really nothing. He out there almost in the slot. Boom. Ball come out on a swing pass. He ain't going to get no pass rush there. He out there to the right. Mm-hmm. Gets there. Pressure. This is a bad rush to you?
No, that's a good rush.
How often was he asked to rush his game so far? Out of all the dropbacks we've seen, we only seen 2 times so far. He was able to just get off the ball like this. This is the second time. He gets to the quarterback, no problem. Again, where he at? This is 3rd and 9. Passing situation. Where is he? Not on the field. Not on the field. Now let's see what happens when he's not on the field. Because let's justify it, right? We see he getting pressures. So he's not on the field. They throw that away. Good pressure. It was a blitz. Boom. All right. He to the right this time. This is 3rd and 10. Just got to get off. Boom. Nothing. They run opposite him. They ran right past Van Ness. I thought you said that he was the reason that they couldn't chase running quarterbacks, but Van Ness was going to chase him down.
Oh no, I said his side.
Right now to the left.
Anything backside, I'm not worried about. I'm talking about front side, the quarterback pass.
Now to the left. To the left, he out there doing what? Rerouting the tight end again.
You can just tell. You can tell.
He's still on the tight end. Look, he's still on the tight end, right? Watch this. Why? Now he come into picture. He come into a picture.
Why though?
And chase him out the pocket. Hold up. Who Who flushes him out the pocket here? He ain't even in the screen.
Why is he still on the tight end on the other end?
You tell me. Why wouldn't Enagbari be over there?
His man. Egbari already chipped, and is off his man already.
Yeah, why would he be on his why would he still be on the tight end if Enagbari, how many sacks Enagbari got for the season?
I don't know.
2.
We'll see. I don't know.
2. Yeah, how many do Gary got at this point? 7.5. Why would we have the guy who proved that
the one that gets the pressure that really flushes you?
Okay, there's Van Ness. Now here's Gary coming into the picture. This ain't no hustle. He wasn't hustling on this play. No, he wasn't. No, it was another play.
He didn't do nothing.
Okay, he ain't do nothing. Okay, all right, he did nothing. All right, great. I ain't gonna argue with you. I just want to hear what you say. This is what you think. I'm just trying to see through the eyes of TP. Let's go. He out there in no man's land, wide 9, and again, boom, chipped, boom, boom, up and under. That wasn't him chasing him up in the pocket, though. He didn't do nothing here either, right? There's nothing, right?
I didn't say that.
Boom, boom.
Shit.
Okay, he got double team and forced a sack. Okay, great. I thought that was a good play. Let's see. Is he out there? No. This is 3rd down again. This time he's not even out there. Boom. Easy completion. No problem. This is 3rd down. He out here to the left, outside the tight end, strong side. Boom. He's containing. He don't even get the pass rush there. He was holding and containing the tight end. There was no pass rush. Here he is outside again. Boom. Does he get the pass rush here? Yep. Gets off. Nobody blocks him. They throw the ball out the back of the end zone, but that's a pressure.
You thought that was good get off right there?
Was it a pressure?
Did you think it was good get off though?
Oh, here we go. Now we're going to be.
We're talking football right now. Was it good get off?
Was it a pressure?
Was it good get off? That's what
I wasn't looking at the get off. I was looking at the result of the play.
Go back. Was it good get off?
Mm-hmm. So you saying that now your thing is he don't got good get off? I don't think I need to do that. I did the get off game with him and your brother early in the season.
We're doing plus and negatives right now. We're doing plus.
Here we go. All right. So he get a plus or a negative for this one. He not on the field again. This is the Baltimore game. Not on the field. He already played. So the first game was Denver. He wasn't really on the field in passing situations. This is the second game. The second game was Chicago. He wasn't really on the field in passing situations. And when he was
on the field more.
He wasn't on the field pass rushing. He wasn't pass rushing. He only got the pass rush like 3 times without having to reroute first in the last game. On 3rd downs, on obvious passing situations. He either wasn't there or he was asked to reroute. That's crazy work. Here again, there is no Parsons. Y'all need to win. Oh, he out there this time, though. But look where he lined up. I didn't know he was there because look, he outside the nickel back. Look how far out there he is. He outside the nickel. Crazy work. He's never getting there from there, even if it wasn't a quick pass. Crazy work. Now he's not out there at all. This is a 3rd and 2. Not out there at all. There is no Parsons here. Why are we doing that? I don't know. Do they convert it? Hell yeah. Ran right at him. Boom. All right, hold on. He out there this time. This is goal line. He ain't on the left. That's 56. Where he at? Is he on the right? Nope.
No.
He not even out there. Y'all got ran through. He out there to the right this time. That don't even make sense. Why would he not be out there in the goal line situation? Boom. Ball goes backside. Ran right at it. They not running at him. Okay, we back in the goal line situation. Where is he at? He ain't even out there. We got your boy Van Ness and him out there, right? Okay. What happens? It would have been a touchdown. They screwed that up themselves. Now he back out there to the right. You see this? But why would he be in and out the lineup like he a undrafted free agent or something? Especially when your brother hurt. And you said that after your brother got hurt, they start changing it up, right? Well, let's see. Boom. Got the pass rush on this one. He didn't get there, but nothing happened. He outside the tight end again. Oh, the tight end widens out so he could put his hand in the dirt. See what happens. Ball out fast as hell. Nothing. To the right again. They send a running back out. Boom, chipping. Boom. Gets rid of both of them like nothing when he actually get the pass rush. Oh, here we go. You said he wasn't getting no doubles. And when he got back to his role, he still wasn't doing shit. There's no way you're going to get there if you're throwing the ball that fast.
He's one-on-one more times than not.
You're lying. Because
He's
you're looking at it. He's not one-on-one right now. So how is he one-on-one more often than not? Even when he is one-on-one, you saying he one-on-one don't mean nothing if they're not asking him to even pass rush in those situations. If he's standing out there holding tight ends, oh, they got me.
The chip's not a double, though.
They got me. No, hold up. I think it's just us. Oh, I think the NFL got us. They always get me. Hold on. They'll put us back on though in a second. And I just gotta show less film. I know what once they on it. Yeah, they got us. That's why it's hard to show the film and prove it, because as soon as you go to do it, they're going to cut you off. But what we're going to do so that we don't waste the time, right? If they don't, matter of fact, that's what I should do anyway. We can do the rest of it, the playoffs game. This isn't the playoff game. So we can do the playoff game as a private recording, and we'll just upload the recording. I'm not like going to edit nothing out or add nothing to it. I'm just going to do it offline so that way they can't do nothing about the policy violation. Or you got to run.
We should do another jump with all the passing plays, not just third down.
Well, I did that in the playoffs. So all the rest of the passing plays, like I said, you see how long we can't put up for that long because we've been up for like 30 minutes. But it would have been an hour and some change just to get through 2 games. You know what I'm saying? It just takes too long. It takes too long. But it's not like even on those plays, I don't need to make it on those plays. He in and out the lineup then too.
Oh yeah,
and
I know.
That don't make sense. It don't make sense for a guy who saying if he already got 7.5 sacks, why would you not still have him? Especially when your brother get injured, we should see them throwing them at him.
It's like that. It's like that in the receiver room too, though. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna blame the receiver for that. Like if they say, "Hey, don't throw him the ball," I'm not gonna be like, "He a bum."
No, I'm saying like as far as like you know what I mean. They're the guys that they want to develop. The guys that they want to develop, they're gonna put them out there, and you know what I mean. See how they, you know what I mean, and see how it look. But that's why I'm like, you could just tell that they was really preparing to move on from him.
Those are 2 different conversations. Like them saying, if you said they was preparing to move on from the guy, I can see that if you're not bothering to put him on the field. But to try to sabotage it to make it seem like he was ineffective and that's why they moving away from him, that's a different conversation, bro. He wasn't ineffective. He never got more than like 4 times per game to actually I'm just pass rushing, especially on obvious third down. The reason I put third downs up there is because we know on third downs, our job is to get to the quarterback for the most part. If I put first and second down on there, we're going to get a bunch of run plays. We're going to get a bunch of other stuff that like may or may not mean anything. Like he might stop a run play, or even if they do throw the ball on 1st and 10, you don't know they're throwing the ball. Those are play actions or quick stuff. It's not really I'm dropping back 7 steps every first down. But in the playoffs, I put the first and second downs in there. But we're gonna have to like I said, the rest of the recording, if you want to do it this way, and to the fans that's still here as well, we can private record the second half of this, and then I can just put that out after we're done. That way we don't get flagged again, because I know you didn't come here just to hear me talk. I didn't come just to hear you talk. Plus, they want to watch some film, but they ain't gonna be able to see it if we stay live. We're gonna get cut again. All right, so just stay put. I'm gonna send you another link.
Are you free anytime like this weekend or anything like that?
I'm free. I mean, tomorrow the 4th, so I don't even want to say because I don't know what the family got planned. But Sunday I'm going live with somebody at night. But we can do it again Sunday at some point.
Yeah, like during the day. Yeah, like during the day.
During the day is cool Sunday for me.
Yeah.
So that's what you rather do instead of doing it offline tonight. You rather go back online on Sunday?
No, we can do. I'm saying we can do the whole offline joint on Sunday.
All right, that's cool. That ain't no problem. But so before we run, we can still talk a little bit because I know you got something to do, so I'm trying to respect your time too. But I'm just saying, just so we don't end it on the YouTube interference. At the end of the day, even up to what we watched so far, you said even what we just saw was Gary being inept that was play that you thought was his fault that he not getting sacks? And when we just went through 2 games pretty much, how many opportunities did he get to get after the quarterback?
I mean, none of them really got real opportunities to get after the quarterback, but you could just tell in the scheme and, you know what I mean, especially in the Chicago game, obviously, you know what I mean, the way they like the short game and all of that, you know what I mean, they kind of had the chip like that. But for me, like I said, when he is rushing and the quarterback escapes to his side, I expect you to be the one to be pushing that quarterback out of bounds. That's what I expect.
I could hear you saying that if I saw a bunch of film of that.
It doesn't happen all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when it happens though, I've seen it happen to every defensive end every once in a blue, and that's how it happens with him. Every once in a blue, somebody gonna break contain. That's every player in the league. You know,
not necessarily break contain. It's more of like when you do, what is your effort after the fact?
Yeah, but I've seen. That's why I've said. Like, I know you said you watched all last year, right? I watched at this point because of the conversation me and you've been having, me and Boss been having, so on. I've watched everything other than 2020 and 2019. I've watched from 2021 to now every snap, every last one of them. So if effort was really a thing, because you said it, so I said, let me go find it. I look for what people say because I look to be contradicted. Meaning if I'm wrong, that means I learned something. So when I ask you what game, what plays, it ain't because I'm trying to be like, oh, no, it didn't happen. I'm saying you might have seen something different than me, so tell me. And when you say that, I've seen maybe 2 plays this entire 2025 season where you could say somebody ran away from them. That was twice. I know where they at because I know what I've seen. You saw one of them, and I know it's another one in the Baltimore game. I'll say that straight up.
Chicago too. That's why.
No, it was only 2 times. The rest of the time in Chicago, from both times, especially the playoffs, he's not even on the field. That's why I know we're gonna get a strike real quick. I'm gonna put it up because I know we leaving out. But I'm gonna skip to the playoffs real quick. We're gonna let it roll until they snatch it again. When they snatch it again, we out of here. But I guarantee you, because I'm gonna get some of the playoffs in here. He's not even on the field.
No, I know that.
He's not on the field. And it's like, so if I'm gonna judge a player, if I'm gonna judge your brother, I'm gonna judge him based off of what he doing on the field when he's actually able to be effective. I ain't about to judge
55 to 60% of the snaps last year. I think he played 55.
And it like I said, if your answer is they was trying to move on from him. So my answer to that is they were definitely sabotaging him on his way out the door for sure. Because there's no way you're not putting him in pass rush situations when your brother hurt. Why would you not be trying to make a way for your second best pass rusher to get home?
I don't think they viewed him as that.
How can you not view him as that when he had a 60% win rate in the first half of the season and he was leading your team in sacks for the first half of the season? There's no way you could tell me I don't view a guy who's winning, who's beating everybody else in sacks. I don't think he can get sacked.
Half of them were coming off of somebody else's pressure.
I hope I'll be trying to stop you from saying that, not to be smart. I'll be trying to stop you from saying it because it's not true.
Can you play the video right now?
I got those.
Of all his sacks?
Yeah, I got those.
All right. I want to see that.
But first, I'm gonna play the playoffs,
and
we'll see where it go from there. Hold on.
I'm not the only one that says these things, though.
It don't matter if you say it. It don't matter how a million people can say a thing.
What I watch. If I didn't see it myself, I'm gonna say I heard it. If I see it myself,
you know what? It was crazy though. A million people could say whatever they want about you, right? If I've been around you, can't nobody tell me nothing because I seen it myself. So I don't care what nobody else say. I go by what's happening in front of my face.
Yeah.
Right here, this is the playoffs. Because a million people could tell me whatever. I don't care what they say about nobody. That's just the way it is. So I hear you, but that ain't valid to me. This him in the playoff. He to the left. I'm trying to go fast. Boom. They got me again. Somebody said, yo, boom. He got in there, but they gripped him, but he got in there though. He outside 75 right now to the left. Let's see if they got me. Boom. Quick pass, nothing to do there. Now he's not even on the field at all. This is 3rd and 1. Not on the field. Beginning of the game. Boom. Ran right up to Gizzy. No problem.
Corner fail.
3rd and 12. He on the field to the left. Outside the tight end. Boom. Not a bad rush, but he was all the way outside. You know, nothing crazy. Boom. Flush him out the pocket. Good pressure. Great play. To your left. Did you acknowledge that, or did you see that, or no?
No. That's a good play.
Okay. Boom. To the left again. 3rd and 5. He dropped back in coverage. Quay Walker gets the pressure. Good play. To your right this time. 3rd down and 7. Outside the tight end. Boom. There's a running play. He did his damn job. Look who he crushed on this one too. Like, this is crazy shit. Look how he closes down both tight ends, or both the tight end and the tackle. Watch this. Boom. Making a whole mess of both of them. Like, get the fuck out of here. Man. Good play. To your right again. They got me again. Boom. I think that's it, bro. I think they got me. Hold on. Because I see in the chat. Am I lying? Let me see. Oh, yeah, they got me. Yeah, this ain't going to work on screen because they keep doing it. It's like, there's no way we're getting through that. So what we'll do, like I said, we'll try to get through it offline on Sunday. That's cool. But like I said, I'll say to you, because it's really, like I said, this ain't from me to know shit.
I never said Gary was a bad football player,
bro. But you imply it though, and that's where the conversation keep coming from. There wouldn't be no conversation if you just said straight up, I just don't like Rashan Gary. I wouldn't even give a fuck.
That's not the truth.
That's a different ball game.
Like I said, bro. Like, listen, all I do is talk about what I see on the field, bro. And I keep it real. I say he's a good run stuffer.
This is
average pass rusher. That's not hate, bro.
I don't think you're average, though. Like, so you think an average pass rusher get 8 sacks a season with half the snaps of everybody else?
With a 38 win rush percent.
That don't. So when you start going to pass rush win rate.
No. I'm saying, but he in the 30th percentile.
When you say that though, right? You do know your win rate though comes from when you are actually beating the guy in front of you. How often is he asked to in the film that you saw? How you gonna have a high pass rush win rate when your job is to reroute tight ends? You're not gonna get off fast, nor are you about to have a win rate that's high because you're not doing none of that. That don't even make sense to judge that if I'm not allowed to do it. Now, if you say let him get off the ball and see how often, like when I'm judging his win rate.
You shouldn't judge those towards win rate. You should only judge one-on-one towards your pass.
Yeah, I judge those towards win rates, and it ain't no way he only winning against tackles 3 times out of 10. That's what 38% is, 3.5 times. Ain't no way. Whenever he allowed to just rush the passer, don't nobody beat him one-on-one. You're not blocking him consistently one-on-one. They don't even try for real. It's not like that's their effort. You know what I'm saying? They don't try to block him one-on-one because it don't make sense to do it. There's a moth flying in me somewhere. I don't know where the hell it is. But yeah, it don't make sense to do it because doing that one-on-one with him and not sliding his way, like I know I didn't see that. When he one-on-one, he wins most of the time, but he's very rarely asked to do it on an obvious pass situation. And that we gonna see, like we already in the playoffs. I guarantee you ain't gonna see that. And then even when I put the first and second down up there, which you would think he would be on the field, it get even worse, not better. It ain't better. They take him off. In the playoffs, he off the field even more. And when he on the field, they ran up a 21-9 lead. They didn't lose that lead because Gary was out there. I guarantee you, bro. They lost the lead. He wasn't out there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't out there. That's how they lost the lead. So, like I said, I say that to say that. You know what I mean? It's not. This ain't coming from feelings. I'm telling you, and I'll be saying it too, because I think outside of this situation, most of the time you keep it real. But I think it's because we talking about something that's personal to you, whether you personally don't like him or you don't like him because your brother played for them and you don't like it for whatever reason. Your feelings in the way here. I do believe that because we're not watching none of that. We're not seeing it. You know what I'm saying?
I told you as soon as I seen it, example A of what I'm talking about. As soon as I see it, I showed you.
We seen one play out of how many?
But we only watched.
And even on that play, I still call that a plus play. He chased the guy out the pocket.
It's about because you're not going to get those plays until you're seeing a running quarterback. How many running quarterbacks did they really face? Chicago 3 times.
We can't talk about what if. If you saying that those quarterbacks didn't run all crazy all over him though. So If you're saying that, that's
Caleb
cool.
Williams did, and Bo Nix did. Extend plays and get big plays on the field. Both of them did that. Jaden Daniels couldn't do that.
Your brother wasn't on the field when they ran the ball?
Huh?
Was your brother on the field when they ran the ball in those plays?
Yeah, I mean, he got hurt on one of them.
On one of them, but I'm talking about when you say Jalen Daniels and all them did, right? Like,
no, I'm saying, Mike only played Caleb Williams one time, and they won that game. Bo Nix, they were winning that game until he got hurt, and Jaden Daniels, they crushed them.
Even after your brother got hurt, he got less snaps after your brother got hurt than he did before he got hurt. That makes no sense. And you say, why do you think that happened? It only makes sense if the guys that you're putting in there are more productive. If you say, oh, all right, they had to put Van Ness in there because he's better at pass rushing, or Inekbari, okay, they should have some results then, some pressures. They combine for less pressures than him. They combine for less sacks than him.
Van Ness shouldn't count because he was actually balling until he got hurt.
That's why I'm not giving Van Ness a full season. I'm giving him. That's why I'm combining him with Inekbari. If I was going one-on-one, I would say, one, he don't get the same playing time. Well, he do. He get the same amount of snaps or more, but he was hurt. So I'm not holding that against him. I'm combining his stats with somebody else's to make it even better for him. And still, with Inekbari, even if you add the other guy, it was Inekbari and it was number 99.
Oh, Baron Sherrill.
Yeah. Them combined, those three combined still got less pressures and less sacks. That's crazy work, bro. 3 guys that you putting in there over him. And you can include the tackles too. Still less sacks. So I only can justify taking my second best sack guy off the field if I'm getting sack production and pressures elsewhere. You're not getting no pressures when you're off the field, and you're not getting no sacks. And then in the playoffs,
I was to tell you that he was more productive when Devontae Wyatt was on the field.
Nope, because in the playoffs, whenever everybody was more productive when Devontae Wyatt was on the field. But in the playoffs, when he's on, so to say that is to say he needed Devontae Wyatt in order to get up, and it wasn't that. When he was on the field, he was still effective.
Inside pressure,
but he was
cleaning up on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Gary was still effective when he was on the field, even with Devontae Wyatt injured. He still was effective when you just let him pass rush.
I'm not saying he was.
I wouldn't even do. If they did this to your brother and somebody was judging him as a pass rusher his rookie year, right? And I said, yo, you got him doing everything. I'm not judging him as a pass rusher. If I say, yo, if they had your brother rerouting tight ends, and I know that's part of the scheme, I'm not looking at it and saying, oh, yo, he can't pass rush. But when I know I see him 2-gapping a tight end, if you 2-gapping a tight end on a pass play, it's because you asked to do it. It ain't because you don't know how to get past a tight end. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get rid of him. So if he's doing that 10 times a game and he only played 30 snaps a game, that's a lot. That's 33% of your snaps. You're asked to not even go after the quarterback when that's what you're good at too. Not saying he's good at it, your brother ain't good at it. That's what everybody keep trying to make the argument. When I say Gary can do that,
they really did what they were supposed to do.
Why were they supposed to do that?
Because you traded for Micah for a reason. Obviously, when you go into a bye week or whatever, and you have that chance to really rework the scheme and focus, okay, he's our best pass rusher. We're going to focus the scheme around solely him pass rushing. So yeah, I mean, you're supposed to do that.
I don't agree, because your whole goal is to win. So if you got multiple pass rushers, you use them. You don't say, we got a pass rusher, so we're gonna make our other pass rusher not a pass rusher anymore, and that would be okay.
I think that was part of the scheme, though.
If somebody came out, including yourself or the coach or somebody came, or the reporters, if they kept it real and said, yeah, they weren't using Gary as a pass rusher, even though he can pass rush, and that put a dent in some of his production. If that was the narrative, I would be like, that is the truth.
But
they weren't using them. But to say he can't do something that you're not allowing him to do, that is crazy. That's like saying I can't make 3-pointers, but you don't let me shoot no threes. You got me in the paint every play. It don't make sense for you to judge that then, because that's not what I'm asked to do. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm asked to do it and I can't do it, that's a different ball game. If Gary was getting off the ball every snap and he was asked to get after the quarterback and wasn't getting nowhere, like you see Van Ness and the rest of those guys in Ekbari doing, if he was doing that the whole season. You
watched the 2024 season. So if you watched the 2024 season, what was he doing? Was he rushing?
Yeah.
And what was going on?
First off, even so, the thing that y'all keep doing that's also a mistake is this. Y'all keep judging his year sacks based off of his regular season, right? Like even in 2024, in the regular season, he had 7.5 sacks, right? Okay. In the playoffs, he had another 2. So that's 9.5 sacks that season.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, he had 9.5 sacks. And in the playoffs, he had 2.5 sacks. That's 12 sacks that season. Get what I'm saying? Y'all keep saying he never had double-digit sacks. I said, sure it did. You know what I'm saying? Sure it did.
If you count the playoffs, yeah. I mean,
why wouldn't I? Those are even more important sacks to me. Why wouldn't we count that? The reason everybody else who's only judging the regular season only got the regular season and not the playoffs is because they either didn't make the playoffs or they didn't do nothing in the playoffs. Either way, the stats from the playoffs count to me because that's your season. It's not my fault if your season get cut short early or if you don't perform in the playoffs. Because I'm gonna say it when you don't perform, just like we talk about Dak when he doesn't perform offensively. I'm gonna judge defensive lack of performance too. You know what I'm saying? So if he performing in the playoffs, why would I hate on that? He earned that. You know what I'm saying? 2021, your brother rookie season, that was like one of the best playoff performances from any defensive end. He had like 2 sacks or 3 sacks, 1 tackle for loss on 4th and 1 at the end of the game. They still, I think, lost that game though. But he balled out that game. He played better than Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams on the offensive side of the ball. And he wasn't supposed to be one of the best players on the field, but he was on both sides of the ball.
Was that San Fran?
San Fran, yeah. He played San Fran that game.
Yeah.
And they smacked us right before that. That's the game where Zeke was lined up as center right before that. So San Fran smacked us, and then they beat them too, but they barely beat them. The way he was balling on defense was like, and this wasn't shade, but it's better than anything we had on our defense in any playoffs that we played. That one game is better than any playoff game than any of whether it's D-Law, your brother, or anybody that played for the Cowboys in this stretch. They haven't had a playoff game like that. So
Micah get a different type of attention.
You keep saying that, but
he get a different type of attention. Teams change up the whole way they play when they play Micah.
They do for Gary too, though. That's why I said like I'm not when you make it a Micah get this type of attention. I'm not gonna say he don't, but so do Gary though. Nobody tries to block Gary one-on-one. They send as much traffic his side of the field as possible. If it's going to be a spill out or a check down or any type of slide and protection, they slide to his side most of the time because it's hard to deal with 280 pounds of 6'5" that got to get off like that. So they don't leave tackles on the island by themselves with bull. The only teams that do it are teams that got elite tackles, and he's beat them. You know what I'm saying? Like in his rookie year, or not his rookie year, your brother rookie year in 2020, 2021, Andrew Whitworth was the man. Rashan Gary was whooping Andrew Whitworth ass by himself. Wasn't he wasn't stunting. He running right at him through him and beating him. You know what I'm saying? Beat Penei Sewell too. And then the same thing in 2024, the year that you talked about, in the playoffs, he beat Lane Johnson twice. No, he beat him for a sack once, and the next one, Lane Johnson fell and held him. So it would have been a sack, but he held him and tackled him. So he got the holding call. It was like 10 yards. But both plays was negative plays because Gary, and then he had like 2 other pressures that resulted in incompletions. Not, you know what I mean? Not he got a pressure or give me pressure. I'm talking about smacking the quarterback. You know what I mean? So after that, PFF said he ain't do nothing in that game. So I started looking at it like, oh, the stats be capped. Because if you say he got dominated by Lane Johnson, you can go on PFF right now and read that. And then you go watch the film. It's a totally different ball game. So that's why I speak up. I don't know Gary and them like I came in, these my people. This is what I watched on film. I listened to what you said. I listened to what they said, and then I went and watched the whole second half of the season, snap for snap. And I'm like, yo, he either ain't getting the opportunity like you already admitted to. They changed the defense after week 8, which we both know they did do that. And then they took him off the field in obvious passing downs. And he still was effective in the times that he was on the field. I'm like, to do all that, it sounds crazy to do that and say that I'm trying to get the best out of this guy.
He's missing sacks too, though.
No, not in those games. In the Minnesota game, he missed a sack that Devontae Wyatt got right after that. Why would that be a bad play? Like if your brother don't,
I think it was when he had Caleb Williams dead to rights and missed it.
In which game? You talking about in the playoff? Not in the playoffs. You talking about in the regular season? And even in that, even on that play when he missed, he didn't miss on that play. Even on that play, they threw the ball through the back of the end zone. It wasn't like they got a touchdown.
No, not that one. He had I could have swore he had somebody. It was during that drought when he ain't had no sacks. He had somebody dead to rights and dismissed him, like went over the back or something like that. It was so. It was. I forget who it was, but I watched it. I remember it.
But still, the point is, and I know he wasn't. So he didn't play the last game, right? He played the Bears game. He played the Ravens game. He was barely in the Ravens game, and he wasn't. He was moved all around in the Bears game while your brother was injured. That doesn't make sense. Still, there's still no way to make that make sense. And if you say it's because he's ineffective, I just showed that when he's on the field, he's still effective. So to remove him like he's not effective is letting you know they was trying to sabotage him. So to do that don't make sense. Even if you say they're moving away from him, wouldn't you be pissed off if you, Gary? I would be pissed the fuck off if somebody tell me I'm not allowed to pass rush. And if that's the case, somebody should come out and say this is not part of what we asking them to do. But to say that I'm not allowing you to pass rush, but then everybody judging you in the media like you can't pass rush, I would be pissed off. I would be pissed off. And I would say the same thing if the roles were reversed and that was your brother, they did that too. I would be sitting here saying the same thing. So this is not picking favorites. And like I told you before, I had nothing against you or your brother. I told you that when I did the documentary.
Rashan Gary. Mike ain't got nothing against Rashan Gary.
It just seemed crazy because of the shit you be saying don't add up though.
Listen, listen, I'm not going to say
it don't add up. Like it gotta. I'm like, what they was rumbling in the locker room?
Crazy.
Like, what
you know
happened?
what's crazy? Because I'm not. Listen, one thing about me, I know, just like you, I watch. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say nothing unless I seen it. And what I want you to do, I want you to go watch the Green Bay Packers exit interviews and watch what Micah was saying. And the things that he was saying, they were like, "Oh my God, he's talking about Gary." And you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Why would they think that if the things that he's saying about motor and you have to, most sacks don't come in the first 2 or 3 seconds. You got to chase the quarterback down and go get the quarterback. You know what I mean? Most sacks come after 3 seconds. So he's saying, so basically if he's saying those things and he's talking about, hey, in the offseason, we got to work harder to be able to play 4 quarters. If he's saying these things and the whole Packers nation is like, oh, he's talking about Rashan Gary. Don't you think that they all think that? Why do you think they think that? Because that's what they see too.
Yeah, but
that's what they see too.
That's not what they see. We just watched it together. It's not. It can't be. That's what you see too. Can't possibly be that.
Bro.
We just watched it together. That's so to say that's what they see too. It's still crazy work because you're still saying that your brother was talking about Gary. Which
no,
is
I'm not.
wild.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying he was. What I'm
saying
is,
was he talking about then? You said the shoe fits, wear it. Basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you're saying, right?
But what I'm saying is, if he's addressing,
did he not? I'm just saying. You can say that he wasn't talking. You say he wasn't talking about Gary, right?
Because he didn't name no names.
Doesn't matter. We know who people talking about. Just like last night, John Owen said, "I got film clips too." Who he talking to? He ain't talking to you. He talking to me, right? But he ain't saying no names. You know what I'm saying?
You know
That's how people. He ain't saying no names, but you know who he talking to.
But a lot of people was dropping film clips still too.
Hold up. No, y'all know the only conversation that was had for real was me and yours. Nobody else was really going back and forth. So you already know who he's talking to.
But no, you got Landon. He was dropping.
But even if it's your brother, you saying it like that's still. He didn't he have that same situation with D-Law in the playoffs when D-Law said he was tired. He said what he had to say indirectly again with that, right? I'm saying, is the media the proper forum to be talking and addressing your teammates? You said you didn't like it when Hooker did it. After Hooker hang at your brother's house and all that shit, he should have just said it to your brother. I can agree. I can agree with you. But that go both ways too, though.
No, that's what I said. That's why I want you to watch the interview because it was like, I know what I have to do in the offseason.
So why don't you just speak on you?
No, because he's saying me and us. He's saying us, we. You know what I mean? He's using words like us and we. So,
but to take a stab at your teammate, but you know, and he know, just like me,
everybody. He was talking about
just like me and you know, even for the Packers fans to say it, the Packers fans didn't just go through all the film and all the snaps like we did. They just looking at the stat line because they see people like Tony Romo and them saying, "Oh, Rashan Gary hasn't recorded a sack."
But that's why I want to watch whole games because
but if you watch whole games on first and second downs, like I said, we gonna do it. We could do that.
Be on there.
I just put the playoffs because you said playoffs, but we could do the whole games. But even on first, it get worse. It get worse because he off the field.
On a wider variety of plays.
But he's playing. What my point is, he's still playing. He averaged 34 snaps, right? Every game he was averaging 12 to 19 snaps after your brother got injured on third downs. That means the rest of the game, he was only playing 10 snaps on first and second downs. We would watch a lot more film.
When I watched
it was like 34 snaps a game. And he was averaging
40.
Nope, it was like 34. Sometimes he hit 40, but it was like 34 snaps a game. So the rest of the game is spread out between first and second downs. They taking him off the field even more the rest of the game. That's why I put third downs up there, because that's the most he was in the game most third downs for the first half of the season.
You do pass plays only.
I'll do that too. I'll do that. So we'll do that Sunday offline, and then we'll go from there. But I'll let you go because, like I said, most of the audience is gone, and like I said, we're not gonna be able to put no more film up. But yeah, it's definitely right now. I'm gonna just say I don't see what you're talking about. Yeah, you got 2 plays out of 3 games so far that you calling. But if we're gonna be petty like that, then that's what I'm saying. That's when I hold the mirror up and I say, if we're gonna be that, if we're gonna judge that petty, then I gotta judge your brother too. Then because if we judging that petty, if we go if we just saying if this play he didn't hustle all the way to the ball, then I'm like, all right, that means your brother must be hustling all the way to the ball every time out, and that's not the truth. So I don't even go that route because then I got to be petty both ways. I don't want to do that.
It's about, listen, like I said, it's about effort when everybody see it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like in the play in the first, 3 to 4 seconds of a play, everybody eyes everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But when you see the quarterback break the pocket and you see Micah leave where he at and basically appear somewhere else, and you see Rashan Gary in the background, bro, you'll be like, hey, like, what is that man's effort? Listen, it's crazy.
I'll let you finish because that sound wild. Because that don't even exist though. That's what's wild.
It do exist.
If you find that, I found plays where your brother was limping around too, or he was hurt, but it's not like this football. So you're gonna have plays where guys aren't always like full tilt. You know what I mean? It depends on how you playing the game and how you approach it. And when we look at Gary, like you say, like when y'all say he don't got the motor to play and all that, yo, I seen the ball taken out of the game. He not taking himself out.
Listen,
they taking him.
Bro.
So, and when he on the field, he damn good. If you put him on the field, when you put him on the field, he vicious as hell. So
just like people search my tweets, I guarantee there's tweets of me saying Rashan Gary is a good football player.
So when did he stop being good?
I was the one that said that the Cowboys should package Rashan Gary and get him out Max Crosby. I was saying that, and everybody was telling me Rashan Gary ain't got no trade value, and I was like, you can't necessarily say that because other teams are looking for other things, and he was also a top.
When people say
player.
Exactly, people try to say the BS, right? And here's the BS. This is why I say BS, and I called it on you. Like people have referenced him like he was worse than D-Law, right? I'm like, all right.
No, D-Law is definitely better.
He had more sacks than D-Law, no problem, and more pressures though. When you talk about him as a pass rusher, he had more pressure.
Last year for a career
doesn't matter. Like if D-Law, why don't if he's a problem for having 7.5, why D-Law great for having 6? You know what I'm saying? Okay. Then we looked at you said Boye Mafe. I didn't, but you said that Boye Mafe had 5. But he had like 5. But he just got a big deal though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means his 40 pressures and 2 sacks was a big deal to whoever signed him, right? So how could 54 pressures and 7.5 sacks when you're asked to do other shit other than pass rush, which is harder?
Hey,
how would that be looked at like he can't do it? But the guy who
he can't.
You said yesterday that Boye Mafe, you would have took him over Gary, right?
As a pass rusher.
How if he a better pass rusher, he got the same amount of opportunities.
Tools, athleticism.
He got the same amount of. It's about productivity. You can't tell me tools.
No, productivity matter. It do matter.
So if Greg Ellis was not a cute pass rusher, but he get the job done every year. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't care about how it looked. Reggie White wasn't even he ain't have moves. He just beat your ass. So I don't care about how it looked. What can you get done when you over there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Gary get the job done. And then when you look at what the job is asked of him, he get most of his sacks on first and second downs, on running downs, where people play action in, and he dealing with strong side tight ends and tackles to get to it. And we like that's not an obvious pass. So if you still get a sack on a down where we don't even know if you are throwing the ball, that's harder to do than third downs. I use third downs because at least on that down, most of the time I know they're throwing the ball, unless it's third and short. So that's why I use third downs. But on running downs, he getting his sacks over there because he not even allowed to play on third down like that. So it's like if he getting his sacks on spot work on running downs, that's harder to do. And then you're like, Boye Mafe is a better pass rusher. How? If you get the pass rush when everybody brings you on to be a pass rusher and you still got less than the guy who getting it from the mud, that don't make sense. You got less pressures and less sacks. When you look at even when you look at the other kid,
I was the one that said that Max Crosby
Sweat got less pressure,
but he got more sacks.
He got 5 more sacks, more snaps, less pressures. You know what I'm saying? Now, I said this in the beginning of the offseason. Gary need to finish better because if he finished better, he would have had just as many sacks as Sweat or more. He missed on at least 5 to 7 sacks.
Yeah,
that's true. I'm not talking about I got there and boo, I got.
No, I mean, like he missed.
I'm talking about touching the quarterback.
Yeah, I know, and not bringing him down.
Okay, so finishing better is the only thing I ever said that Gary need to do better is finish better when he pass rushes, but not being able to pass rush ain't the case. If you get in there enough to have 12 sacks,
that's why I said average.
You doing something, and then having 6 pressures in the playoff game, that ain't like a bum game, especially when you only played 30 snaps. That's crazy work. You know what I'm saying? And you're not even out there on passing downs. That's not easy to do. So you got guys who are asked to be pass rushers who do less. He not asked to be one. So that's my point. That's my point. It's not, we can't just say what he didn't do on the stat line. It's like you're not even asking him to do it, and he's still doing it. That would be like I'm telling you can't score and you still scoring. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not even trying to throw the ball. Like when Dez was like, they wasn't even trying to throw him the ball. Whenever they threw him the ball, he still scored on it, and he knew he wasn't even going to get the ball that whole game. You know what I'm saying? That's harder to do. And what Gary was doing is harder to do. It's harder. So when I said that, I'm saying you got to acknowledge that if we're going to acknowledge pass rush, and then everybody who say I'm wrong, go show people not showing me. I'll give you, I'm going to say this, and I really do mean this. No matter what you say, like you can call me crazy shit, whatever. That's shit talk. I don't care about that, right? But what I will give you respect for is this. You show up and you either show whatever film I'm not trying to play you when I say let's show film. That's why I say I'll show the film you telling me to show, because I don't expect you to know how to do the shit I do. You don't do this. So I'm not asking you to know how to chop
film. I just don't sit
but I'm just saying I know you're not chopping it up. So I'm not like I could chop up film better than you. Of course. So what? That don't mean your brother can play football better than me. I'm not here to say or judge what you don't do. You don't do this. That's why I'm showing all the plays you asking me to show and the references that you asking for, so that it ain't none of that. But at the end of the day, I respect the fact that you show up. Other people, though, that, like I told you before, who support what you're saying or who are fans of your brother, fans of you, and are scared to say the truth because they don't want to lose connection with you. I'm the type of person, if you fuck with me and we was cool and we was friends or something,
you can always give me the real.
I'm going to tell you the real, even if it's the last time we're going to speak. That's the way I am. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I am. Because if I can't do that around you, I don't want to be around you.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is. So I give it to you that way. Everyone else is like, they sit on the sideline act like what you're saying is thorough just because they scared to like.
A lot of people co-sign, but they can't come up here and talk about what they, what they see.
But that's my point. So the shit you saying, people jump on the wagon and start talking about, but I don't see nobody even asking for me to come up here and present the film for them or presenting the film to me. If you won't do that, I don't really care what you got to say. You'll do it. That's why I'll keep doing it with you. It don't matter what we talking about on the Twitter. Twitter just, that's engagement. I'm not mad about that. But if we come together on a fact and try to come to a fact, then we got to set parameters for what we looking at. And if I'm saying I'm only judging when you're allowed to pass rush, the boy wasn't allowed to pass rush all that much. You already know that. And that's why I be looking at it like, bro, fuck what we talking about with your brother. You know damn well he wasn't allowed to pass rush.
Yeah.
You know he wasn't. So when I get hype, I'm like, I know you know.
A lot of people, you know what I mean, but you know what I mean, it wasn't fair to him either though, because they, you know what I mean, you got Mike out there. You see Micah get a one-on-one.
But that's the crazy work in the first half of the season. If I could show that without them striking this, and I'll show it when we offline when we do this stuff. I'm gonna edit it up so that none of the NFL shit is on here. I'm gonna spend the rest of the time tonight doing that, and then that way we won't get flagged when we put this up. But the first 8 games of the season, this is why I think they changed the defense. The sacks that he was getting, they was when they were on the field at the same time. Yeah, they both getting less attention because they both on the field. So Gary was getting off too. But wouldn't you want both of y'all guys to be able to get off?
Happen.
Charles Haley and Tolbert was getting off because of each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's supposed to happen.
That's what's supposed to be there. You want a counterpart. DeMarcus Ware and
Will Anderson and Neil Hunter. Shit.
Exactly. And you had DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. You know what I'm saying?
When it didn't look like that, I already knew it was going to happen.
It didn't look. It did look like that in the beginning. Yo, if you got both your leading pass rushers, so tell me this: you make that face, right? It's about results. You got two pass.
Hey, if the Dallas game didn't happen, I'll be right there with you.
Man, games
if the
happen
Dallas
before.
game didn't happen, I'll be right there.
You act like he played like a bum in Dallas. That was
no. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying
crazy
that.
work.
But
they rolled.
You may tell you what I expected from that game.
They slid protection to him in the Dallas game. I got that game too.
But listen though, going into that game, watching what I watched the first 4 weeks of the season, watching the Cowboys offensive line, going into that game, I said Dak should be on the ground 5 times. How many times he touched the ground?
Dak got your brother didn't get him either though, bro.
He did get him.
Why
he got him in the most important part of the game.
He got him when listen.
The most important part of the game.
Hold on, but in that part, but you got your eyebrows up. Let me put them down for you. Listen, who was blocking him on that most important play of the game? Who blocked him?
Was it Steele?
No.
Steele? Or Titan?
Ferguson.
Yeah, but I say Steele or Titan, I know.
Ferguson. And he didn't even get a sack on that play, but Ferguson blocked your brother 1-on-1 on that play, bro. And he chased it down from the other side of the field. Like he's supposed to.
Was he tipping?
Was he tipping? What you mean?
Chipping.
No, he blocked him by himself.
Wasn't it a play action?
Nobody else. I'm just saying nobody else blocked him. Just Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
So the one play that he did get the sack on was a tight end half-ass blocking him. Nobody blocked him. So it's not like they ran the ball at him or they rolled out his side and he made some amazing play. Like nobody bothered to block him. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a sack, but it did lose us the game. So either way, it was a game-winning tackle. Yes. But the rest of the game, both of those guys couldn't get off because Dak was getting rid of the ball fast. So how is Gary a problem? How do you keep saying that game? Like your brother didn't do nothing.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
When we watched that game, first of all, the game changed when Devontae Wyatt got hurt. The game completely changed when Devontae Wyatt got hurt.
I mean, we can't argue that.
But
that's
what was the most important? What was outside of Micah sack? I do that. Sack on Dak. Outside of that play, what was the most important play of that game? Dak rolling out and hitting Tolbert, right? I don't even remember if he was even on the field for that, John.
The most important play of that game was
Dak hitting Tolbert.
Sanborn. No, it was two important plays of the game that was very important. It was Morris Leofile hitting number 23 for a roughing, a penalty. That gave them the ball again so that they could get back in the game. And then Sanborn, when that ball bounced off Sanborn's head, those are 2 most important plays of the game.
Because I can say
that ball don't bounce off Sanborn's head.
On Dak.
If the ball don't bounce off Sanborn's head, we win the game. And if Morris Leofile don't commit that penalty, we win the game.
I can say things like, you know what I mean? Dak was intentional grounding. There was a clear pass interference on the sideline.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like the reason I threw mine in there, just like yours, because if we gonna go that petty, we both gonna keep doing that to nothing.
That's what I'm saying. But I feel like that Tolbert play was really like that. Like,
so you blame the Tolbert play on Rashan Gary?
No. I'm saying one of the most important plays of the game came from extending, and Micah got held like hell. So yeah, I mean. Hey,
I mean, to say that is the most pointed game, though. That's my point. You said that's the game that made you think this way. Yeah, but
I'm saying that again.
I'm looking at the team.
That was the game when I realized
the team halfway through the season.
What I thought it was going to be.
But the team halfway through the season, you got your 2 leading pass rushers at the 8-game mark. Micah has 6 sacks. Gary has 7.5 after 8 games. Both of them are on pace. If they keep doing what they're doing, and y'all was leading and y'all defense was good. So if y'all just keep doing what you're doing, y'all lost 2 games after that when y'all changed the defense. Y'all lost 2 games right after that. Y'all won.
That was more on the offense though.
Y'all won the Pittsburgh game, and then y'all lost 2 games right after. Y'all changed the defense. But if y'all had just kept doing what you're doing, both of you guys are on pace for double-digit sacks. Why would we change the defense if it's working? Y'all not losing games, and your defense is top rated, and both your pass rushers is on pace to get double-digit sacks. What would be the purpose in changing that?
I don't know why they changed it, bro. I can't tell you why they changed
it. But
other than I knew
if your brother was on the tail end of that, though, right?
If
your brother was the one that they asked after that to start rerouting tight ends, right? And very
Micah was
rarely
doing. They didn't have to. Honestly, I didn't think they had to change anything. Micah was doing what he was doing regardless.
Well, there you go. Why change it though? It don't make sense. But if they did change it and they asked your brother to do the things they asked Gary to do, I would be saying the same thing on behalf of your brother. If people were saying Micah Parsons went over to the Packers and they ain't do shit the second half of the season, I would say the same shit I'm saying right now. Why would I change the defense?
But Micah gonna do that shit and still gonna get a sack though.
Gary was doing it and still going to get sacks though.
No, I'm saying, but he gonna do it. He gonna do it faster though. He's just that athletic.
That's so you proving my point. Why would you put the slower guy out there in no man's land and put him further away from the ball when he's a defensive tackle and defensive end? Your brother is like a linebacker. He's the one that's supposed to be over there.
Best pass rusher in the NFL. There's only one other person you could put it there.
I'm just saying, if he need help to be it, it's a problem. He should just be able to be it. Why he need somebody to take Gary out the play? You know what I'm saying? Why he need that? He don't. They both would have been double-digit sack guys. There's no need to sabotage Gary to do that. And you can't tell me that makes sense if after 8 games, halfway through the season, this is where we are, and our win rate is crazy. All across the board, we're winning. Why would I change Gary's role after that and lose 2 games right off the rip? But then right after that, you had the Giants game, Minnesota, Carolina.
They lost some games not because of defense. It was offense. The offense couldn't.
Yeah, the offense wasn't doing shit either. I'll give you that. That's true.
Like they lost what? They lost 4 games. They lost 4 games and gave up 17 points in them games.
Yeah, but defense is still at the same time though. Defenses make plays when you allow guys, when you put your playmakers on the field, shit happens. Fumbles, interceptions, sacks. You put your firepower on the field. That's just common sense to me. I know that's common sense. Like yeah. I know if we wasn't talking about, if we just took the names out, your name wasn't Terrence Parsons, and we wasn't talking about Terrence Parsons and Rashan Gary. We just said player A, player B, and this is what player A and B was doing halfway through the year. You wouldn't say player B need to be off the field. You would say player B I don't understand why they did that to him. But because if player A, who is your brother, was in player B's shoes, you would be complaining just like anybody else, especially when the media come out and start trying to shit on the person and say that he can't do his job when.
I don't know what happened, but that's all good.
Damn, you two really try to give it. They really try to give it dog.
I was like, damn, what happened?
That's crazy. I didn't even do nothing.
That's all good. I gotta leave anyway. I'm already late. It's all
right,
good,
well, go ahead, do your thing, man. But Sunday we do it again and we go from there.
Yeah, for sure. I'm about to say I'm available anytime afternoon.
All right, bet. I'll send you something.
All right.
All right.